Tano Yeah. So Phil, welcome. The event is falling on a known date, which is 19th of January. But from our end at Kenyatta University, because of this event, it is also pointing out a very significant thing. Why? Because we are having the 9th sandpit, which is happening in Kenyatta University today. But secondly, we are also having the first sandpit in Kenya and therefore in Africa. So 19th has two significant figures for us today because we are on the first and we are on the 9th. The key factor of this project is to foster strong connection, strong relationship. You could be a student who is just having a startup. You could be a researcher who is established in your own area. You could be an industry partner. The big thing is that we need one another. We need one another in the training and management of the various skills that we have acquired in the institutions. We also have a responsibility to apply or to use the acquired skills, and that is why we are bringing in the industry. Today, we are living in a changed world where technology is very important. Technology transfer now is very important. It has become part and parcel of the human life. And therefore, when you have a consortium, a group of experts, a group of practitioners, a group of professionals coming together, then I think we can achieve a lot. The universities are engaged strongly in the training. They are involved in the training, but our main customers are the practitioners, the industries. So we need to bring out what they expect. And that is one thing that Get Me 4 has really taught us since we joined it at the beginning of the year 2024. More importantly, and I must mention this, that often than not, we come across disruptions. Disruptions at times is like they make our lives to come to some standstill. So we must navigate through, we must find ways of getting out of such quagmires. And the team that is here and the team that is in front of me are doing their level best to find some of the solutions that are really directed to circumventing disruptions. Many times we talk about gender imbalance. Many times we talk about generations. I have learned through this project that there is need to come together, and we use or apply the skills that are available within those different categories of humanity. And that is a great lesson that we can learn. I am inviting all of us who are here today, non-members of Get Me 4 and members of Get Me 4, to continue creating networks, to continue creating partnerships, so that we can put the human desires into some safe grounds, which Get Me 4 brings out very clearly. Finally, but not least, culture is a very important aspect in human life. I was told sometimes back that if you want to know the culture of people, 3 things stand out. One of them is their food. And without doubt, tomorrow we'll be tasting the different foods from different countries. Number 2 is music. You learn the people's music, then you can know where their interests are. The reason Dr. Yugi was very kind for us to bring the entertainment with a very clear message coming from the music and the dancing. So learn people's culture through their food, through their music, and through their dances. There's a new culture which is just emerging, and that is technology, which is the backbone of this project. So what is my remark? To welcome you to Kenyatta University, to welcome you to Kenya, and to encourage you to foster that good relationship that has been going on between the current universities, with a hope that more universities in Africa will find space in the global entrepreneurial training management. Phil, welcome. Thank you very much.
Our distinguished partners from the European Union and the United Kingdom, Get Me 4 project leads and country directors present, esteemed colleagues, researchers, innovators, and guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Yes, as Prof said, in Kenya we say jambo. So kindly turn to the person sitting next to you and tell them jambo. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for receiving those greetings on my behalf and on behalf of the School of Business. It is my great pleasure to welcome you warmly to Kenyatta University and to the 9th Getma Sandpit, held under the inspiring theme, Together for Tomorrow Through Respectful Translation. The School of Business, Economics and Tourism is honored to host this important gathering of scholars, practitioners and partners drawn from diverse disciplines and regions across the globe. Your presence here underscores the importance of global collaboration, shared learning, and co-creation of knowledge in advancing entrepreneurial talent and societal impact. The GetMap 4 project, generously supported by the European Union and the United Kingdom, represents a strong and enduring partnership that aligns well with Kenyatta University's commitment to research excellence, innovation, and internationalization. As a consortium member, we are proud to contribute to a project that fronts responsible entrepreneurship, inclusivity, and meaningful translation of research into practice. The Sandpit provides a unique and a safe space for participants to engage deeply, challenge conventional thinking, and collaboratively explore solutions to the complex entrepreneurial and societal challenges. We encourage you to take full advantage of the rich expertise present and to build relationships that will endure beyond this week. At this point, allow me to acknowledge the leadership and continued support of the university management in enabling initiatives such as these to thrive. So DVC, kindly pass our appreciation to the management and particularly to our Vice Chancellor. Once again, welcome to Kenyatta University. I wish you productive deliberations and a fulfilling stay with us. Thank you so much. It is now my pleasure to invite the representative,
Professor Paul K. Wainaina. The European Union GetMap 4 project officer shows Sobasak Alexandra. I'm sorry if I mispronounce your name. GetMap 4 project lead Professor Alison Peace from Northumbria University. GetMap 4 work packages leads, members of university management present, Executive Dean, School of Business, Economic and Tourism, Professor Perez Onono, here presented by Rosemary James. Other Executive Deans present, the GetMap 4 Kenyatta University Organizing Committee, international and local participants, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. On behalf of Kenyatta University Council and Management, I'm delighted to extend a cordial welcome to you all to the 9th GetMap 4 Sandpit. As we convene for this milestone event, we embark on a journey of knowledge, dissemination, collaborative endeavors, and innovative thinking that has become synonymous with GetMap 4. The Sandpit serves as evidence of collaborative research and networking across borders through respectful translation. The overarching theme of this Sandpit, Together for Tomorrow through respective translation, sums up the dynamic challenges and opportunities shaping our global landscape. In today's transformative age, businesses are not only engines of economic growth, but also stewards of positive societal and environmental change. Our deliberations in the coming days hold profound significance as we explore the intersections of human capital development, entrepreneurship ecosystems, and strategic agility. GetMap 4 has consistently provided a fertile ground for nurturing relationships, exchanging insights, and catalyzing collaborative research ventures. profound scientific revelations, revolutionary business frameworks, and disruptive technologies that have far-reaching implications for academia, industry, and society have resulted from our dialogues. Work packages, including ideation and methodology, individual entrepreneurs, higher education innovation, industry impact, community and society outreach, multidimensional research integration, data repository and publication strategy will be explored in greater depth during this summit. Furthermore, we shall explore the transformative potential of data science and artificial intelligence for sustainable productivity development. We shall investigate innovations, efficiency, and economic development, while also delving into the realms of entrepreneurship, employee wellness, health and happiness, and socio-economic development. As we confront multifaceted challenges, climate change, technological disruption, social inequity, and geopolitical uncertainties, we recognize the imperative for strategic action. GETMA 4 serves as a unique platform for collaborative problem solving and the identification of innovative solutions. Each work package, presentation, and discussion has the capacity to shape policies, influence business strategies, and bring about concrete transformations in the real world. As we continue to expand the boundaries of knowledge and innovation, let us remain steadfast in our commitment to fostering sustainable social and economic development. Ladies and gentlemen, in closing, I extend our heartfelt gratitude to the esteemed speakers, secondees, and all participants who have contributed to making GETMA 4 Sandpit a reality. Your dedication to advancing the frontiers of knowledge and effective positive change in the world is truly commendable. I urge you to seize every opportunity during this Sandpit to connect, collaborate, and leave an indelible mark on the path toward sustainable social and economic progress. Last but not the least, let me take the opportunity to thank the organizers of this Sandpit, led by a team of committed experts from the School of Business, Economics, and Tourism, Kenyatta University, and graced by representatives from the partners such as the European Union and the United Kingdom through Northumbria University in Newcastle upon Tyne, among others. I wish you all a productive and inspiring Sandpit ahead. It is now my pleasure and humble duty to officially open the 9th Global Entrepreneurial Talent Management for Sandpit at Kenyatta University. Thank you.
Morning to you. It is a beautiful day and a very beautiful year for that matter. It is 2026, the first time we're meeting on Biashara Tuesday, and I'm so glad to be meeting you today once again. It has been a very long holiday full of ups and downs, and especially the ups. But now we're beginning a new year. So glad that you're joining us. If you're new to the show, this is KUTV Biashara Tuesday, a show that keeps you updated on everything business, entrepreneurship, whether you're starting up, you're a seasoned entrepreneur, in leadership, in, everything in between. Leadership, technology, sales, how to be the better version of yourself in your business, or if you want to begin a business, this is where you get ideas on how to get into businesses. They say that if you want to begin a business and you really don't have the knowledge behind it, how to run it, the technical part of it, your business is most likely to fail. But as KUTV Rise today, Biashara Tuesday, we are here to make sure that does not happen. When you start a business, you move it forward. Now, my name is Anyango Sylvia. And today we also have a set of discussion. I'm saying a set of discussion because there are several discussions. And today's discussions are centered on careers and the future after university. First, we're going to be having a conversation on Career Week. This is in relation to Career Week, the KU's Career Week 2026, that is bringing together industry, the people in the industry, universities, and the learners, bringing them all together on the same place so that we can bridge the gap to square that situation where you're graduating, you're going to the field, and then you're told that, what you learned in school is not relevant at the job market. So that is the key role of Career Week. We'll also be having students, high school students coming in, meeting their mentors, lectures here and there, workshops here and there, exhibitions here and there. So we're having KU's Career Week committee members joining us this morning to help us understand, where did Career Week come from? How has it moved forward since its inception, in an era where we have Google, we have YouTube, we have everything online? How relevant is it to have Career Week right here on Kenyatta University? Also, we'll be having discussions on debt management and everything in between. This is especially to newbies in the job market. You just graduated or you're about to graduate, and out of societal pressure, you want to catch up with the rest of your peers, those who have begun before you, or those who you see really look successful, and then you're tempted to go into debt. So we'll be learning today what are good debts and what are bad debts. How do you navigate all these situations? How do you navigate to balance who you are as a person or as a brand or as an entrepreneur? How early or how late is it to engage yourself in borrowing? And the reality is on the ground, and wewe mwenyewe ukiwa shule, and as you get on the ground, what is different. Also, this morning we'll also be having a conversation, of course, on the state of our nation, and that is on newspaper review. To help us understand the conversation on debt management, we'll be joined by CPA Emmanuel Kiche, who is a credit controller at Centum PLC, and Mark Opati, who is a fourth-year BCom student. And wanafunzi wa Biashara, they'll be helping us understand this. How well do we balance this? Kwa ground wanasema aje, mayouth wanasema aje wakiwa shule, na ukienda kwa ground mambo ikoje in 10 years of being in that industry? So we'll get that difference and understand how practical is it as you get out. They're already in the building, and they'll be helping us understand that in a short while. Also helping us understand the conversation on Career Week, we'll be joined by Vanessa Njeri and Kigan Mwachanje. They'll be helping us understand how important is conversations around Career Week. And remember, on Biashara Tuesday, we are not here to be motivation speakers. If you are here for motivation, please, next time. On Biashara Tuesday, we are very practical. What is happening on ground, the realest advice or insight you'll ever get, that is what we give you here. The stories of, mimi ni billionaire, nilianza na kuuza kuku. We are here on real business. We are here to tell you what is really happening on ground. Of course, that is on the discussion that we'll be having on the lunges. And for the state of our nation, we have our dailies this morning. I'll just be reading the headlines juju, and then we'll dig deeper into them later on. So the People Daily, they're talking about, it's all politics. They're talking of who stands to gain or lose out from ODM implosion as 2027 nears. You know, right now at ODM, tuko na ODM faction of two-term na ODM faction of one term. So who stands to gain in this? Is this, it is now termed as a family rivalry between Odinga and Oginga. So who stands to lose or gain? That is given prominence on the business, on the People Daily. They're also having conversations on stakeholders, portholes in state's Safaricom cell plan, and also a story on the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC at crossroads, trust technology, and the 2027 election. Just remember that the opposition, led by Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka, say that Marjan cannot lead the 2027 election. So there are already holes before we even get to the 2027 election. They're already considering the 2027 election null and void. But we are here to watch as Kenyans. The Star, they're talking of Ruto three-pronged strategy to bag Luhya vote, and this they're talking of around 4,923,815 votes. Remember, there is always a narrative that the mountain brings 4 million votes. Now, these estimates say that the Western region is also bringing forth 4 million votes. That's about almost 5 million votes. But the problem is not even about the votes. The problem is these people wanatoka Nyanza, Western, kidogo kuna itilafu kwa kupiga kura, but then we'll see. This is the Star saying this seems to be the new strategy of President William Ruto. And there's another newspaper here which is also talking, yes, Taifa Leo. Taifa Leo is talking about karata mpya Gachagua, and they're talking about his move to have the former President Uhuru Kenyatta, we have the likes of Ndindi Nyoro, to secure the whole block, the whole Mount Kenya vote in his favor, so that we don't have a divided vote. And this is a long history, Kanu, Kadu, how they broke and all that. So it's a long history. So this is Taifa Leo saying Gachagua is trying to evade that narrative where the Mount Kenya votes are divided. So on one side, we have Gachagua consolidating to have Mount Kenya vote as a block to one person, and the president also fighting to have the Western region. We've seen several trips in the Nyanza region, and now they're embarked on the Western region. So we have the cabinet secretaries, we have governors, members of county assembly, and members of parliament who are campaigning for President William Ruto. So that is on the Star, and also on Taifa Leo. The story is given prominence on those pages. And just something to mention on the Star, they're talking of illicit brews, Muranga's silent crisis, illegal alcohol lost lives, and accounting pain. This is something that Gachagua was really championing, but right now we're having a different story going on or given prominence. On the Daily Nation, we have executive impunity. They're also having a health story where they're talking of SHA medical cover bias hits patient. So that is on the Daily Nation. And of course, we have the Bold newspaper, the Standard. They're talking of Gethi, EACC, and NYS. This is a crisis of EACC turning a deaf ear or a blind eye on corruption at the NYS. And finally, we have the Business Daily talking of Kenyan investors allotted 60% of KPC shares on sale. We also have Portland gets 1.94 billion Kenyan shillings loan repayment reprieve. So that story, those are the stories given prominence on the Business Daily. Those are among the stories that you're going to be having on our discussion on the state of our nation this morning on the newspaper review. But before we get into those discussions, I want us to take a look at what is happening on our roads, and of course, the weather situation across different cities and different towns in the country. It is exactly 36 minutes past 7 a.m. and I'm looking at the traffic situation right here. And this is according to Google. And right now, from let's begin from where we are right now, from Thika Road. We are having something that is not always common. we are used to having traffic from all stops all the way to Muthaiga interchange, but today we are having traffic. Earlier on it was very slow from Kahawa Sukari all the way to Muthaiga interchange, but right now I'm seeing traces of yellow and patches of red and yellow, so it's moving. It's not like it was before, and this is affecting those coming from Kiambu Road as they approach Pangani interchange. So if you're using Thika Road this morning at this time, you're going to be staying on the road for quite some time. And those people using the eastern bypass, wale watu wanatoka Ruai, going forward to Tawala, joining to Mombasa Road, there's also slowdown on that route, and especially around, is it Taj Mall, where the outer ring is joining the airport road, around those areas. So there is a slowdown on those areas as you are going to join Mombasa Road. And those people going to town through Jogoo Road, there is only traffic around the bus stops. So if you're using that route, you're going to be heading to town faster. Of course, on Kangundo Road, there is not so much to report on. Wale watu wanatoka Kayole kwenda town, not so much to report on unless you're joining the places that I've mentioned. If you're using the outer ring to Thika Road, or using the outer ring to Airport Road, joining to Mombasa Road. And talking of Mombasa Road, not so much to report on except around the roundabouts. Any roundabout on Mombasa Road, if you're heading to town, that is El Selassie Avenue, Kenyatta Avenue, all those roundabouts, uko Nyayo Stadium. If you are approaching Mombasa Road or heading to town and you'll be using any of the roundabouts, you're going to be staying on that route for quite some time. So that is on the traffic situation on major tributaries leading to Nairobi Central Business District this morning. In other areas, not so much to report on. And right now, let's take a look at what the Kenya Met Department is telling us about the weather situation in Kenya for the next 7 days. For the next 7 days from now, the 20th to the 26th of January 2025. And the previous week, we've had sunshine in several parts of the country. That is, of course, what Kenya Met is reporting on. Right here in Nairobi right now, it is 16 degrees Celsius in the morning, but it's expected to be rising in throughout as we progress throughout the day. In the coastal region right now, it is 26 degrees Celsius, and it's expected to be rising to highs of almost 30 degrees Celsius throughout the day. So that is in Nairobi, among the lowest. In areas like the Rift Valley, where we are having the likes of Eldoret, Nakuru, right now it's around 16 degrees Celsius, and it's also expected to be rising throughout the day. I'm waiting for Kenya Met, and according to Kenya Met, has been released to be the weather report from the 20th to the 26th. They're saying predominantly sunny and dry conditions are anticipated across several parts of the country. However, occasional rainfall is expected in a few areas, especially the highlands, east and west of the Rift Valley, the Lake Victoria Basin, the coastal region, and the southeastern lowlands. On a temperature, they're talking of hot conditions. Daytime maximum of above 30 degrees Celsius are expected in the coast, northeastern and northwestern Kenya, as well as parts of the southeastern lowlands and Rift Valley, and the highlands west of the Rift Valley. And on nighttime temperatures, minimum temperatures of below 10 degrees Celsius expected in parts of the highlands and west of the Rift Valley, the Rift Valley and areas near Mount Kilimanjaro. So those are around areas Nairobi, ukiteremka uko chini. That is the weather update according to Kenya Met Department for the next 7 days or so. If at all anything is going to be changing throughout the week, you can always follow up with the Kenya Met Department on their website. They're always updating on if there changes, if they've given a range of 7 days and an update. So that is on the weather update. All right, now at this point, in the country, everyone is talking about youth empowerment, entrepreneurship. We've had the president talk about the Nyota program, something we'll also talk about in the newspaper review, where youths are empowered. Registering your business, and it is through Nyota. You got your funding through Nyota. You're going to be having your business registered without the license fee and all that. So most of the fees you're going to be paying are going to be reduced, and that is something of youth empowerment is what Kenyatta University is currently doing through the week, through workshops and talks and mentorship on developing talents. And this is based on how do you make your talent. So we are going to be having most of those discussions in talent empowerment. And after that, we'll be bringing you the discussion on careers, not careers really, on credit. How if you're just a graduate or you're a new employee, how do you manage your finances? How do you know when to borrow? How to borrow, which loan to take, and which ones to avoid, and basically how do you maintain your status? Like how do you maintain a growing graph without failing at the end? We're having someone who has been in the industry, the credit industry, for a decade, and he'll be helping us understand what mistake do most people make and how well do we avoid those mistakes. We don't have to be making mistakes other people made. We can also learn from the experience. So that discussion will be coming up shortly after we've had a series of just a glimpse of what is happening in Kenyatta University on talent management.
The Technical University of Kenya and IFEA collaborated on a project during COVID times. During COVID times in Europe, we were locked in our houses for 2 years. It was a very difficult time. And to try to keep us sane and happy, we decided to collaborate with Africa would be a great idea. So that's the origins of the African side of the Get Me For project. And I'd just like to acknowledge the Innovation for African Universities program, funded by the British Council, and the entrepreneurship program that we worked in that collaboration. So thank you for that. We enjoyed it so much, and we were so successful in that program that when we were putting together this project 2-3 years ago, it was a very easy decision to invite those partners to join us in this project. And that's why we're here today. First slide, please. So I want to start with this picture, which was taken at Kyungpook University in Daegu in Korea. I've already introduced our colleague Troy, who's here today. You may recognize some of these faces, but may not, because this photograph was taken in 2013. If you can spot me, I had different hair. If you can spot Kasha, she had different hair. I think we spend more on our haircuts now, don't we? Mine is terrible. Who else can we see there? Nada Suban from Ljubljana. Those people who were in Korea in October, you can see Sairon Lee. Click once more, please. And here's the godmother of the global projects. She hasn't noticed what I've done to her yet. Kasia Dziwanowska from Warsaw. The point of this photograph is to show you how long we've been working together in some of these collaborations. And here we are, I think this is 2016-17. Again, you will recognize some faces. Professor Ko, you are in there. Ilsan, for example. And of course, Alexandra, our project officer. So this was our first project in Warsaw. point of our project now, because we've been working together for more than 15 years, is we're trying to pass this on. We're trying to get our younger, more talented colleagues involved now. This is going to be the focus for the next 2 years of our project. So if you still have your career in front of you, which I don't, please do get involved, because we want to pass on this legacy to our younger colleagues so that we can carry on working together. Next slide, please. You need to click through the slide, it'll build. This is a data-driven project. We collect a lot of data. We monitor very closely our performance. We have a lot of performance reviews and targets. We're also a people-led project. We achieve all of our performance through our people. So these events about people are the way that we achieve our performance. What we are trying to achieve is to actually impact society outside of academia and outside of our institutions. We're trying to do research which produces findings, suggestions, proposals that we can actually then implement outside of our universities to make a change. We have a very comprehensive impact plan in all of our geographies. I'm not going to present it this morning. We have the rest of the week to explore that. And these are some of the very good reasons why actually focusing on impact, not just on doing the research, is a focus for us in this project. Next slide, please. Very recently, we were actually at our halfway point. So this is a 4-year project and we've completed 2 years of it. I want to celebrate at this point, in case you didn't realize, just how much work we've done. So roughly, we've completed 210 month-long secondments in the first 2 years. Our total target is 368, so we're more than halfway through. We achieved 104% performance against those targets. That has to be ideal, doesn't it? Not exactly 100%, just a little bit better, but not too much better. So we're very pleased with that. That's due to all of the efforts, the energy, the commitment that all our secondees make, taking the risk to go to a foreign country and try and work there. So thank you to everyone who's contributed to that. We have today 150 people in this project. I don't know all their names, don't ask me. This is a very large, substantial project. 51% of those people are women, reflecting, I think, fairly accurately the global population for women. That's also an important aspect of this project. You need to understand the importance of the balance in the genders. We're in 9 countries on 4 continents, but we actually have 26 nationalities working with us. So we really value those people of different nationalities who are enrolled in our universities. We also measure gender balance in a different way. It's not just about the number of people, it's how much they are being involved. And here we have a little bit of work to do, because despite the fact that 51% of the project are women, we're actually only being included at 42%. This, my colleagues on this project, is going to change in the next 2 years. This is what we're going to focus on, to make the actual participation in the project more balanced. We've had 8 sandpits already, 1 in Ireland, 2 in Korea, Slovenia, Chile, Poland, most recently Estonia. This is our 9th. That's approximately 500 people participating in those events. So this is just an idea to give you how large the project is, the opportunities. I also wanted to acknowledge, since we're here in Kenya, you may not be aware that these are the most seconded people in the project. So I'd just like to acknowledge John. I hope he's in the room. Where are you, John? Did you know? Did you know that you'd done more seconded days than anybody in the project? You're number one. No, you didn't know. So there you go. I also want to tell you that the oldest person on our project was born in 1958. That's like the birth of rock and roll. The youngest person on our project was born in 2001. And our second most seconded project is indeed our wonderful Fred, who's sitting at the back there. Give us a wave. And of course, the person who is never at home, Kasia Jivanowska, goes everywhere all the time, immensely committed to the project in time and energy. Ambrose, Ilsang, Mark Bailey, who sadly isn't here. Marcin, you're up there at number 7. Just thought we should acknowledge, yeah. And Vincent, you're number 8. I don't know if you realised, yeah. And then I just want to have a special mention for Aldo. Wave, Aldo, because you're going to say, oh, but I've done the most secondments, because Aldo did the most secondments on Get Me 3, and he's now spending a lot of time on Get Me 4. So I promise I will do a different calculation where you are number 1. I will do that. You may also not realise that the person who's done the most trips is, and Masha, I'm looking to you, Clara, to help me with the pronunciation, please, of Metka's name. What they said. Metka is the former dean of the School of Economics and Business at Ljubljana University. She is going to North Macedonia on repeated secondments, very, very active and creating impact in the Western Balkans region. You may not know her because she came to the Ljubljana sandpit, and she hasn't been to others, but she is actually performing our most trips. Thank you. Next slide, please. Thank you. There's Kasia with 7, there's Marcin with 6, and there's Kasia got her reward being promoted to Vice Dean for International at the University of Warsaw. Thank you. Next slide. Our longest secondment was also performed by a colleague from Ljubljana University. He spent 3.5 months in what the Chileans called the Chilean jungle. So some people are going on very short secondments, maybe just a week, and some people go on much longer secondments. There's enough flexibility for that in the project. Next slide, please. So we are at our halfway point. We have a long list of deliverables. Those are research reports and other things that we are contracted to deliver in the project, and this is a huge focus of what we do. I'm not going to describe these in detail because these all belong in the work packages that are going to be presented this afternoon. But this is just to give you an idea of the variety of those. And I have some really good news, which I got just this morning. Our mid-term report after 2 years, which we have to submit, all of our performance measures, everything that we've done, everything that we're doing on the project technically, we submit to the European Commission, and on the basis of that report, they decide, are they going to give us the rest of the funding or not? I can tell you that that report has been approved, and I learned that just this morning. That is a colossal achievement, not only by our colleagues in TU Dublin who coordinated, but everybody who was asked to contribute to that and who pulled that together on time. And I would thank the European Commission for reading that and approving that so promptly. That really helps us. So that's brilliant news. We're going ahead with the next 2 years. Thank you. Of course, we're academics in this room, so publications are dear to our heart. Another thing that I'm particularly proud of is that we published a book chapter within the first year of this project. We moved so fast on this, and this has multiple authors, all from around the project, about how we put it together, the design of the research. So we're being very fast on that. Next slide, please. We also have another book chapter that's focused here in Kenya on that Innovation for African Universities project. So people are working on that. That's already published. Next slide, please. We do a lot of dissemination and communication, and these are many of the opportunities. I'm just going to give you some small examples. This is not comprehensive or representative. It's just to give you a little bit of inspiration and motivation about the kind of things we do. This is the wonderful Elaine Rossiter from TU Dublin, who has already presented here in Kenya at their conference. Next, please. We spend a lot of time developing our institutional partnerships. Here you can see Mark Bailey from Northumbria in Korea, building his relationships with the university and the design council there in Korea. Next slide, please. We're very interested in the sustainability of our consortium, so we're always applying for new funding from different sources. There are so many of these. This is just one example. So please use the partnerships and the collaborations in the project to apply for more money from different places to sustain what we're doing. Next slide, please. Some people have had real boosts to their professional development. You can see Duncan here, who has been awarded a fellowship at Oxford University. He told me, oh, I boasted about the Get Me For project in his application. He's actually here in the Court of Law at Northumbria University. I don't know what crime he committed, or maybe he was found innocent. Anyway, this was during his secondment to Northumbria. Next slide, please. Here's Ambrose. Oh, he's in the council in Ljubljana city. He's also now running this wonderful campus. And he also told me, oh, I talked about the Get Me For project in this job. So being involved in something like this is something that you can use to develop your profession. Next slide, please. We have a lot of PhD students working in our project. This is the lovely Marjan from Dublin City University, also came to Northumbria. A few things she said about the benefits that she was able to receive doing her secondment. Next one, please. And here's Richard. He was your student, Vincent, right? Your PhD student. He also came to Northumbria, and Rose Chan arranged for him to do lots of really good teaching about internationalization while he was here. Next slide, please. And he's our first PhD completion that happened during the life of the project. So let's give Richard a clap. He's gone home to Ghana now, and you might not be aware of this, Vincent, but just last week Richard emailed me from his university in Ghana and said, please can we get involved in future projects? So that's how this works. We do, as I say, lots of talking to people. Here you can see David Parks. Give us a wave, David. Went down to Oxford University. If you get the chance to speak to David this week, please do. He's a very interesting person and a very active person. Also talking about how this project works. Thank you. And here's Nada and Metka and our colleagues in North Macedonia. This is the first project of its type happening in North Macedonia, and they're very proud of that fact. They're working very, very hard with our colleagues in Ljubljana University. They have an industry partner, which is the Human Resources Association. They held the first European research evenings that we've ever done on this project, and some of the first that have happened in that area. So excellent, excellent work. Thank you, Katerina and your colleagues. Here's another wonderful Quiva Kiernan, also from TU Dublin. She's a teaching innovator, and she and Aldo, I think you've done a lot of work together with Quiver. Yes, right, and Vicky. So we're not only doing academic research, but we're also innovating pedagogy and sharing our expertise internationally, trying to transfer things from one country to another. Thank you. And there's Aldo's Lego sessions, for which he is famous in the project. Again, innovative ways of teaching entrepreneurship, creativity, and other subjects, getting people involved and helping them to experience these new ways. And I think you've been and trained people on how to do it, right? Yeah, in Dublin. So thank you. Yeah. We also like to give out lots of prizes. We were very lucky in the UK to spend a day at an innovation event where we were awarded prizes for our ideas and creativity. And I love the international nature of this team. There's our colleagues from Korea, from Chile, from Northumbria, and also from Kenya, working together on solving problems creatively and winning some cakes, I think, Ambrose, right? Yeah. Next slide, please. So, what's a sandpit? The sandpits are the jewel in the crown of our project. And I just do want to give some credit to Andy Hull here, the photographer, because he made this piece of artwork for us at one of our sandpits. So thank you to him. I think it's a photo or a video. He can tell you how he did it, but I think it shows the movement and the importance of people talking to each other and mixing at a sandpit. So I'll explain to you a little bit about what you're experiencing. What is the for in Get Me For is a question that I'm asked horribly regularly, and I can never quite remember, so I've written this slide. The for in the Get Me For is we work across generations. We're very keen on younger and older, more and less experienced people working together. Our assumption is, as experienced people, is that we have a lot to teach. I can tell you now that I'm learning an awful lot from the younger people on the project, and that's the way of the world now. They're often more knowledgeable about what's happening in the world than older people. So we work across generations and we work across disciplines. We've tried to make the project as flexible as possible so that anyone from any discipline could maybe find a connection somewhere in the project. We use a classic definition of entrepreneurship, one that I'm very fond of, and that is doing new things in new ways. That's all that is. And that's happening in all disciplines. So we welcome all disciplines to work with us. It's very challenging, but it can be done. We work across sectors. This means not only in academia, but with our industry partners as well. That's how we get the impact from our research in the outside world. And obviously, we're working transnationally. And Vincent brought to us this concept of respectful translation, about learning from each other over different countries. So those are the 4 aspects of this project, which are the 4 in the name of the project. We do that in various ways, but in the sandpit, some kind of magic happens. Next slide, please. I'm just going to show you some pictures quickly now. I picked these from the first year of the project, just for those people who've been coming along for the last 2 years. This will just remind you. Here we are in Angier Street in Dublin, working hard. Next slide, please. Here we are in Gwangju and Daegu at our first Korean sandpit. 2024 is already looking old. Next slide, please. Here we are in Korea again. This cultural aspect that Fred mentioned. What did he say? Food, music, and something else. What was it? Sorry. Thank you. To learn about someone's culture. We always do this on a sandpit. Next slide, please. Here we are at the Innovation Day in Newcastle. It rained all all day, and we didn't care. We still really enjoyed it. Next slide, please. Here we are at a castle in Northumberland, which is in the north of England, experiencing some ancient British culture and some British food. Yes, fish and chips. Next slide, please. Here we are in Ljubljana. We were visiting some of their industry partners. We learned some very interesting things about the way that they run their business. Hire people you would like to see every day. I thought, that is so obvious. That's their strategy. So we're taking that away with us. Next slide, please. And here we are again in Ljubljana, dancing in a European way. And also having a little drink. Ilsang, your beautiful wife and daughter are in this photograph. Do you remember this? Because we do try to include everybody's families and friends too, because that makes it all a little bit more possible and pleasant for everybody to be in the project. So our next sandpits are in North Macedonia in May. That's going to be a new place, very exciting to go there. We'll be back here in July at the University of Nairobi. So I think all our colleagues from that university are watching very closely what happens here at Kenyatta. I'm sure they're not competing. I'm sure they're not going to try to compete. But with the welcome that we've received here, I think a lot of people will be back here in July. We'll be back in Slovenia, one of my favourite places, in September. Then we'll be in Ireland or UK in winter. Not the greatest choice, Vincent, for either of us, right? But someone has to do the winter one. So these are the next 4 coming up. So please consider if you'd like to come. And this is my final picture, which again was taken in Slovenia, about this idea of working together and the relationships and the people management is what really matters to us on this project, while we also do all the work that we need to do. And that's the end of my presentation. Thank you all for being here.
Global Entrepreneurial Talent Management marks its 9th anniversary today at Kenyatta University, bringing together scholars and innovators to reflect on 9 years of internationally funded research and innovation driving entrepreneurial skill development, academic collaboration, and sustainable economic impact across diverse global contexts. Speaking on behalf of Vice Chancellor Professor Paul K. Wainaina, Dr. Rio said the J24 meeting will focus on leveraging data science and artificial intelligence to boost innovation, efficiency, entrepreneurship, employee well-being, and sustainable socioeconomic growth.
Businesses are not only engines of economic growth, but also stewards of positive societal and environmental change. Our deliberations in the coming days hold profound significance as we explore the intersections of human capital development, entrepreneurship ecosystems, and strategic agility.
Professor Alison Pass of Newcastle Business School expressed gratitude to the EU Commission for its prompt support, praising J24's achievements, including early collaboration publications, ongoing academic work, and a book chapter completed in the project's first year.
And I would thank the European Commission for reading that and approving that so promptly. That really helps us. So that's brilliant news. We're going ahead with the next 2 years. Thank you. Of course, we're academics in this room, so publications are dear to our heart. Another thing that I'm particularly proud of is that we published a book chapter within the first year of this project. We moved so fast on this.
Frederick Ndede, chairman of J24 at Kenyatta University, said the modern world relies heavily on technology, noting that collaboration among experts and practitioners is key to driving innovation and achieving impactful results.
The big thing is that we need one another. We need one another in the training and management of the various skills that we have acquired in the institutions. We also have a responsibility to apply or to use the acquired skills, and that is why we are bringing in the industry.
Speaking at the meeting, Rosemary James, Executive Dean of the School of Business, Economic and Tourism, said Kenyatta University is proud to host scholars and practitioners promoting interdisciplinary collaboration, responsible entrepreneurship, and research supported by the AU and UK countries.
Presence here underscores the importance of global collaboration, shared learning, and co-creation of knowledge in advancing entrepreneurial talent and societal impact. The GetMap 4 project, generously supported by the European Union and the United Kingdom, represents a strong and enduring partnership that aligns well with Kenyatta University's commitment to research excellence, innovation, and internationalization.
The milestone reaffirmed Kenyatta University's role in advancing global research, innovation, entrepreneurship, and international partnerships for sustainable socio-economic development. KUTV, Nairobi.
All right, welcome back. When we are seated, you know it's about to get down on matters business, entrepreneurship, and our guest already in studio. Remember, I told you earlier that you're going to be having a discussion on, the discussion is themed from campus to career, the financial and professional shock of your first job. So I know most of us tumegraduate juzi, hatujamaliza hata 4 weeks, and we're entering the job market. So from career, from campus to your first job, what are the next step forward? Allow me to have our guests introduce themselves to you before we get into the discussion. I'll begin.
Thank you for having me here. My name is CP Emmanuel Kiche. I work with Centum Investment Group. We are located at Two Rivers Mall. I am a credit specialist. I'm a credit controller with over 10 years of experience. So I'm happy to be here, and I'm looking forward to interacting with you and guiding our young people into the next step of their careers.
Karibu sana. I must say I'm among the young people.
Thank
Karibu
you.
sana. Mark.
Thank you. My name is Mark, and I am a BCom student specializing in accounting. And being a fourth year, I'm here to just represent that transitioning from the theory work in the lecture halls and also to the demand, the job market. Yes, thank you.
Let's begin just from where you mentioned it. What is the theory work that you see is something that unaangalia unasema hii ni kama haiko kwa job market? If you've done your internship, what are the difference between what you learn in class and of course what you get at the job market?
Okay, personally I think in class it's all about the knowledge that you are being fed, and when you get out here it's not about books, it's about solving a problem. How do you face the challenges that for instance are facing a business or organization where you're employed. So I think there needs to be a more practicality in the way that we are being taught in the class.
All right. So Emmanuel, from where you sit, what do you think is the biggest lie that young people tell themselves, especially when they're in class and just before their first internship? Because when you go to internship, your brain rewires. So what's the biggest lie that young people tell themselves just before graduating, getting into their first jobs?
From where I sit, I think the biggest misconception that young people have in their mind is there are no opportunities outside here. I think social media has been awash with the trends of people are in campus, and there are no opportunities. Yes, I may agree and contend that unemployment may be high, but opportunities are there. The biggest problem that we have is that we haven't built a merit-based society. So from where I sit, there are things the government must do. One is they must do an audit of all the employees, whether in private sector or in government, and ask the question whether they have the right papers. Now, what do? Do you just sit there and wait for the government to do all this? Maybe they may do it, maybe they may not do it. So what I tell young people is they must build their own brand. You're a fourth-year student. Do you have a LinkedIn account? You're a fourth-year student. Do you have a good CV that when you send, it spells out clearly what you are capable of doing? So yes, we may push the government, we may ask them to do certain things, but as individuals, there are also those things that we must do ourselves. So let's do our bit so that we meet somewhere and the opportunities will open up, surely.
I think that is something that is really so much into the youths, because we are, I don't know if it's a generation problem, because we grow up with so much blame than taking accountability. And someone might say that this current generation, most people are overqualified. Is it something that probably might be leading to the unemployment crisis that you're seeing in the country? Because we'll hear someone say that, let me go and do my master's to postpone unemployment. Let me go and, do a certain course. Someone is doing probably studying a Bachelor of Commerce, but then on the sides, this person is doing another course. Is it something that is really, we are, let me not say we are, the young people are overqualified, and the market having to receive them with this qualification makes it hard for them to be absorbed?
Yeah, I would say it's good to get those qualifications. It's good to be told that you're overqualified. But I think there's enough for, we just have to get good concept in terms of policy making. Just like I've said, the one thing that is missing the entire employment sector is we are still largely a corrupt society. Sorry for saying that. We are not a merit-based society. So young people who are well deserving of these opportunities are not getting these opportunities. And I think even now, as we move towards electing our leadership, electing the national leadership, electing the grassroots leadership, the question now, it comes back to us. What kind of leadership do we want? Do we want the status quo, or do we want the people who are going to turn around the policy system and frameworks for the young people? I say the future, the youths are not the leaders of tomorrow. Youths are the leaders of today. And if we will not occupy those spaces of leadership, then the question is, can we influence good leadership to create space for us? Now, if we don't do that, then we will remain in this perpetual cycle of unemployment and this perpetual cycle of blame game and looking at ourselves as overqualified and no opportunities. So the question comes back to us, narrowed down to us, that when we will get that opportunity to shape the destiny of this country, when we are called now to cast our ballot, will we say that this is a Kikuyu, this is a Luo, this is from this tribe? Or will we turn around the question and say that this is someone whose policy well aligning with, this is someone who will change the policy framework around employment and around issues that are affecting me as an individual? You see, unemployment does not affect a particular tribe. Mm-hmm. When you go to Central, you'll find young, qualified people who are unemployed. When you go to Nyanza, you'll find young, qualified people who are, and it pains me when sometimes I see even CPA graduates standing with billboards asking for opportunities that are there. So I think it boils around pushing the leadership that be, and looking ourselves into the mirror and asking, will we be part of the solutions that we are seeking for?
Right. Now, Mark CPA says that being a bigger problem that we have, or the narrative that we tell ourselves as young people, is that there are no job opportunities. How true is that from where you sit, and how does that make you feel? Because you know, when you're studying, you're moving in darkness and you're expecting the light, and then you get someone coming from that end akwambia, you know, uko kwenye unaenda hakuna mwangaza. Sometimes it's demoralizing. So how does this make you feel?
Okay, that's a good question. I'll say that first of all, it's saddening because the unemployment rate is high, but I think on our side we also have to have that patience, because as we are coming from campus to the job market, we have to allow that chance to get experience and not be focused on maybe what you'll get from the employment. Just add up your value through experience as you transit into the job market. And also, I think many people are thinking that by applying through the online platforms, that's what it takes to get employment. But I think it calls for more. It calls for going to those workshops, these connections that we form in small conversations. That's all it takes to, that's part of what it takes to get employment. So I think we should incorporate that as we even try to look for jobs. Let us move from applying even from online platforms to go and actually seek these opportunities out there, because most of the jobs, as I observed, are gotten through referrals and connections. Yes, thank you.
Your network is your net worth.
Yes.
I see that coming up. Now, CPA,
Yes.
most young people think that, you know, okay, apart from the delusion that we normally have, I will, by this age, I will graduate, by this age, I will have a job, by this age. So there's this narrative that is on young people's mind, that the moment I get my first job, that automatically means I'm financially stable. Walk us through the reality of your first job as an employee within the first 3 years or the first period of employment.
Thank you. I think I'll speak to it in the context of financial stability that you've mentioned. I think, to me, financial stability is a mirage. It's something that we will chase, but we may never find quite comfortable and sit back and say that I'm financially stable. I've only encountered one person in the scriptures who sat and said that now I've harvested enough food, I have enough in my stores, and now it's my work would just be to sit and eat, sleep, and be merry. And you know, Jesus called him a fool. So from where I sit and from my own perspective, I would want to turn around the question to financial contentment. Where you are you, or whatever you are getting, are you contented with it? Financial stability becomes hard to arrive at, because the moment you get that first job, there are things you'd want to achieve. Maybe you want to start your master's degree, or maybe you want to start that short course, and it calls for finances. You have rent here. Now you're no longer relying on your parents for your basics. You have all yourself to rely on. So it's always a step by step. I remember in my first job, I just wanted 50,000. I used to say that if I get a job that gives me 50,000, I think I'll be okay. I'll be fine. I'll be all good. So I got that job that gave me 50,000. I realized that that was not enough. I started chasing for 100,000. In myself, I had sat down, done the calculations. I said, if I get 100,000, this is how I'm going to spend it. And it was pretty much making sense. When I got that 100,000, I realized that there were some other additional needs that I needed to now also cater for. So I think as people progress into their careers, needs arise. It may be needs to improve your self-worth, yourself. It may be needs to, even the society now they start to expect much from you. Your parents may want a share of something that you earn. There is this also something we call social capital. People who will want you to come and help them. Those are things that you never factored in. So for me, I say financial stability is something that you will not arrive. I will turn it around into financial contentment. Be content with where you are, and that does not mean you be comfortable. Of course, have a vision for where you want to go, and each day increase that vision so that you become better at yourself, and you become better at even managing the financials that you'll be having at that particular moment as you grow in your career.
That's powerful. Mark, how do you picture your first employment?
Okay. Financially or?
Yes, financially.
Okay, I think I pick it up as an elevated level, because from my view, it's just the way I was handling for instance, my money while in campus. I have to pick that concept and use it in my first employment. That is, before that money hits my bank account, I should have budgeted for it. I know this money goes to this items, so that when it lands in the account, I know that I will spend it well. So I think the problem comes when you have no goal with your money. So as I transition to the job market, I think that's something that I am keen on implementing, the way I budget my money, because I know that when you save your money, you save your future. Yes, thank you.
Right. I've heard young people say that I'm here in the office thinking about how I'm going to buy my lashes, and someone with the same salary as me is thinking of how they're going to be paying school fees for their kids and all that. So it's something you've mentioned, if your money does not have, did you say a goal or where to go, you'll definitely waste it. So let me come back to Sipia. We are in a society where the world is on our screen. In the past, you could have a salary of 50,000 shillings and you live comfortably because your worries are less. You worry about rent, food, my kids are in school, and you're done, you're okay. But we are in a generation where there is so much of influence online. You are seeing your age mates do this and that. So as you get into the workspace, you already have a dream of a life that you need to be living. Talk to us about the concept of living within your means and progress. Like if I am getting 50,000 and then the next day I'm getting 100,000, how should I transition between the two of them? Like generally it's about living within your means despite of societal pressure.
Thank you. The biggest problem we have in the society today is we are always in a competition. We are looking at some people and say we want to be better than them, or we want to drive the car they are driving, or just some sort of unhealthy competition. Competition is good, but when it comes to at an expense of you digging deeper into your pockets, what you can't afford, then it becomes detrimental to your own financial health. So the first thing that I advise people is what are the realities that you're living with in terms of your finances. Number two, compete with yourself. Don't compete with others. If you compete with somebody once say that so don't consume your seed, your financial seed. Others may be consuming their financial harvest, because those people consuming or using their financial harvest means that they already have more than enough, and they have already put that into consideration. So if you are consuming your seed, it means that you're consuming that part of you that should have grown into something bigger into the future. So the first thing that I tell young people is first, compete with yourself. Compete being better version of you. Number two, think so hard about investing in yourself. It may not be these material things that are seen. Think about enrolling for a short course, things that would make you earn more into the future. Because what we must accept is there is competition in the job market, and the question is, how will you have what niche will you have carved for your own self so that you be distinct? If you're a Bachelor of Commerce Accounting option, the question is, have you done your CPA? If you've done your CPA, the question is, have you done your data analytic? If you've done that, the question is, do you have an advanced Excel knowledge? So that at any moment in your life, you're always making yourself better, so that you position yourself for future and better opportunities. If you start with a salary of 50,000 and you want to take a loan or you want to buy a car, you've started at a very wrong footing, because you'll already push yourself into some strong financial strain, and having been in that strong financial strain, you'll never think about self-development. You'll never think about now enrolling for that short course that your parent will no longer now pay for your fee. So I advise people to be content with being better than themselves, not better than somebody else. Be content and know that they are running this race alone. And then they must really think hard about investing back into themselves. Never stop investing into yourself. Invest into yourself. It will always give a good return as you grow in your career. And when you grow in your career, you're growing your financials. Yes.
In a bit, we'll be talking about good and bad debts, but I want to get from Mark, why is it so hard for young people to, maintain the financial discipline of living within their means?
So I think part of it is maybe because they're trying to emulate someone, and with the rise of social media, I think we are getting brainwashed with what we see on social media, and that sometimes is usually an illusion. So I think we should have plans that we set for ourselves, and with that little money that you have, try to use it wisely so that you can accomplish those plans. Don't focus with what others are doing. Focus with your vision, your plans that you have for your future. Yes.
I want you to talk to us about your personal experience in this context. We have sheria vibes around campus, especially towards the weekend and all that, and we have friends calling you out for a party, and you know very well wewe uko na shilingi 200, but then you're told kuja, drinks is on us, and then at the end of it you've spent the 200 shillings and now you're back to your house or the hostel, and you have nothing at all. So how do you handle friends who come to you with ideas of activities of what to do that will make you fit in? Because in this journey of creating friendship also, you can't be a loner. You need to engage. So how do you handle that so that we help someone who probably is struggling with keeping up with friends to maintain the standard? How do you handle this pressure?
Okay, that's a very great question. I think there should be boundaries. Okay, if I'm with this friend, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And if this friend calls me at this point, I have my own things that I'm supposed to work on. So you have to have boundaries on what you'll be doing with your friends on that regard.
I see.
Yes.
It's easier said on paper than it is done. You were in campus. How did you handle such situations? Because with 10 years, definitely you've grown the muscles of saying no. But when you back then, 10 years plus ago, how did you handle the pressure?
First, I think I only enjoyed Freshers Bash, those social gatherings that were a bit subsidized low. When I was in campus, my only greatest goal, because of maybe my background, my dad had told me that I'm paying a fee. If you fail to achieve what sent you to campus, that's now will be up to you. I'm not going to any extra extent of doing anything for you. So most of us are coming from various backgrounds. Some of us are coming from backgrounds that we know that this education thing is the only key that we are having.
Afford to lose.
Yes, we can't afford to lose it. So I was conscious about that. I knew that now this is the only thing that is going to help me. This is the only thing that's going to lift me up into some level that I may want. So I will not say that I never participated in social gathering. I did, but I only did those that were relatively cheap, that I could afford. Yes.
And also to add on that, I think you also have to consider the phase you are in your life. So if you're at a phase in your life where you are trying to build up something great, I think with the schedule that you'll create and all the activities that you'll be doing, it will just wipe out this friend who is just there for the entertainment. So I think you have also to consider the phase you're in your life. If you're in that phase that you think, okay, I can take in a little bit of entertainment, if you're in that phase where you need to put on hard work so that you achieve your goals, I think that will also guide you in the requests that you get from these friends. You'll pick the requests that build you, maybe your professional life, as opposed to the other side of maybe entertainment. Yeah, so that one will also guide you in the choices that you make as regards to the friends that you have and the direction you're moving to. Yes, thank you.
Right. For my case, I used to say that friendships are expensive because how am I going to contribute in 10 birthdays the whole year? Yet I can only decide to contribute on my, it's not on bad blood, but a happy birthday is enough for me and all that. But it's according to everyone's, preference. Now let me come back to you, Sipia. Talk to us about, you've been you've been counseling people on debt and managing it for quite some time, and you've had a history where probably people may be telling you the experience when they're coming to seek counsel. Maybe, I did this, but then I have to do this. Or probably you have seen people make mistakes, even without them telling you about them. So talk to us about, especially this is for the young people who are getting into the job market. What are the common mistakes that you have seen that are so common that you'd wish for the young person to avoid? And this is especially the bad debt, because I understand they are good debts. And also towards the end, you can also explain to us, yes, they are bad debts, but what are good debts?
Thank you. Some of the dangers that young people normally get into when they are getting into the job market is this societal pressure. They want to fit in. They want to fit in with people who've worked maybe for 10 years, or they want to fit in when they look at around where they live, or their peers, people who they feel like maybe they are lagging behind in some extent. So the pressure may be they would want to now fund that lifestyle they are not in. So they find themselves getting loans to buy maybe something like a car. First, there's nothing bad about getting loans. The question here is, what are you going to do with that loan? Is it Ndemo, Bitange Ndemo, former ICT minister, called something dead asset? So people funding asset that will never help them. You are living in Nairobi, you want to build a very big house back in the village, a house that you'll spend maybe once in a year. Mm-hmm. So why don't you put that money into something that will generate additional cash? So the challenge that young people face when they get into the job entry, into the job market, is that they want to measure up, they want to fit in, they want to be but that shouldn't be the question. What young people should be focused on, and these are mistakes that some of us, even me, have made those mistakes. I'm not saying that I'm seated here as an angel with a guidebook on how to make your life, but I'm saying that you can avoid this mistake by, number one, accepting the realities of your financial situation, knowing that this is my financial limit, this is where I'm coming from. You see, some of us, I was having a story last week with one of my friends, and he was telling me about one of our other friends. They happened to be coming from the same village, and he was telling me, that guy is coming from a well-off family. That guy cannot work in Nairobi, but can afford to pay his rent, to drive his car, and to do all these things. Now you see, somebody who is looking at that guy without that knowledge of the background they are coming from may want to compete them. But maybe your background is a humble background, and so you have a lot of pressure competing with people whose background are quite good. So what I tell people is accept yourself, accept where you are. Don't be in a rush to making it. Be in a rush to better yourself. Be in a rush to invest in yourself, invest in knowledge. Never say you've arrived in acquiring knowledge, so that when you will be making your life fit all together, you'll have achieved a great milestone with the very little thing that you started out with. So if you get an opportunity, some people even say, I've seen a discussion online, people say that their BCom and their CPAKs, they can't start out with a 30,000 salary, that they feel because of the academic qualification they should be starting at some certain level. Now, you see, when you're starting, yes, in as much as financial should be somewhere in the picture, the greatest thing that should be in the picture is acquiring the skills, getting to know the accounting and finance aspect, the auditing aspect, the taxation aspect, so that in 5 years you'll be saying you have 5 years experience. You can even now run your own firm and charge what you may want. So when you get into the job market, yes, financial is important. We all need money, but be more focused in be more focused in the skills, because the skills and investing in yourself is what is going to catapult you to the next level. If you fail to invest in those two, instead invest in other things that will not push you into the next level, you'll face stagnation. When you face stagnation, the next thing would be you lose hope, and hope is the last thing someone should lose, because when you lose hope, you've lost life. Yes.
All right, as I go to Mark, I want you to think of a story of your life. This will serve as a closing remark, that after it you are like, this is a turning point for me. I need to manage my finance better, to manage my debts better, and manage the salary that I have. As you think of that, Mark, from the conferences, the classes, the workshops that you've attended, what do you think are the skills that you've learned so far that makes you better than anyone else, especially when you're approaching the job market? What skills do you have right now that you think when you're getting to that interview, you'll be picked and not the other person?
Okay, so over the period over which I've been to campus, I think from the various involvements in clubs, activities, the classworks, and also the exposure that I've get, I think I've managed to gain a lot of soft skills. First of them being conflict resolution skills, and also communication skills. I had a privilege to work for a firm, and I did marketing for them. It was a firm that was actually starting. So we were in that phase where we have to give awareness to people about the organization. So I played a key role in actually convincing and persuading people to buy the product from that organization. So on marketing skills, I think I have gained quite a lot, and also other technical skills from the softwares that we have been trained in these clubs, such as QuickBooks, Sage, also as Emmanuel was saying, advanced Excel and SPSS, which are critical in data analytics. Yes, so those are some of the things, some of the skills that I've gained over the course of that time.
All right.
Yes.
So the job market can't wait to have you.
It can't wait to have me.
Congratulations.
Thank you. The turning point, I would say, was I had started well. I had saved some good money for a period of, I think it was in my second employer, a period of around 4 years. I'd saved relatively up to, I can say, 600,000. To me, it was good money. I don't know if it's good money or not, but it was then to me. So the biggest mistake, financial mistake I did, and that was a turning point, was when I was changing jobs, I had the opportunity to access that money. So I took the entire of it without a plan. When you ask me now what I did with that 600,000, I can't account for it. You see, I can't account for it. So what I learned was a very hard financial lesson is that you must have a plan. For, even if it's a saving you've worked for, some money that belongs to you, even if it's a loan you're taking, before you take it, can you just do a plan of what you're going to do with that money? Because if you take it without a plan, you will end up later after imeisha unajiuliza na ile pesa nilikuwa nayo mingi, what did I do with it? Yes, so have a plan.
I see he agrees with that because you mentioned that point earlier.
Yes, and also just it's a thought that has just come to my mind for the student.
Use your mic, please.
Okay, for the student viewers who are following, there's this notion that because you've said you have to plan on, I mean, you have to work on being bettering yourself. there's this notion that for you to be a great person, for you to do great things, sometimes you have to borrow. And just to clarify, what's your views like on in students borrowing for their investment in themselves, like to do something that will in future count? Yes.
Investment towards yourself.
Yourself, yeah. But you're borrowing to do that investment. So I wanted to know the perspective from yes.
All right, we have our time is really not on our side, but I'd like for you to answer that and then we conclude.
I would say any investment towards yourself is a good investment. You'll never get it wrong with investing in something that nobody can take away from you. So if you're investing to take up a course that will better you, that is a good investment, because you'll realize that you'll be much ahead as compared to your peers. So when you'll be going to the job market, you'll be preferred. Maybe an interview. You're in an interview and you have a BCom degree. Your colleagues have a BCom degree. You have a CPA. They also have a CPA. So the panel, and you also, both of you are quite good. So the panel is looking at who has additional thing. So that investment that you've done, maybe you did data analytic course. That will cut you. It will cut your niche above your other colleague. So to me, from where I see it, is any investment towards your own self, that's a good investment.
All right.
Yes.
But as you borrow even for your studies, make sure you have a payment plan.
Thank you.
Anyway, that brings us to the end of this discussion this morning. I hope you had fun learning about how to invest as a young person, or if you're getting into a business, employment for the first time or the first period of your life. How well do you navigate that space? And what we've gotten from our guests is that even as you get your loan, as you get that salary, make sure you have a plan of where it's going. Otherwise, you're going to be misusing it, because money always finds places to go. Even if it's not to you, it will always find places to go. Gentlemen, thank you so much for making time for us this morning. Coming up next is a discussion on careers. Stay tuned for that.
Congratulations to you all. Nice. Thank you so much. We'll proceed with this one. Before we proceed,
wenzangu hatutaiacha milele dai. Wenzangu, enzi chetu hatutaiacha milele dai. Tuishangilie Kenya, taifa letu tukufu, Kenya tunayoipenda, Kenya nchi tunayoipenda, Kenya nchi tunayoipenda daima. Usime wange we kumoyo, switi we kumoyo kwange, mayi we babana bange, nitaishi naye nimutunze, nimuvishe petela upendo, nitaishi naye nimutunze, nimuvishe petela upendo, kumoyo kwange, bemukazi wangoyo, bemukazi wangoyo, bemukazi wangoyo, usale babana, bemukazi wangoyo, usale babana, bemukazi. Epapamba mukazi wangoyo, emayimba mukazi wangoyo, ngebasa na reba kureba, ngebasa na woya kuwoya. Mupenzi wangu ni muenzi, milele mimi ni mulinde, busu busu, mujaluo ni mujale jale, mumeru ni mumare, ni mufisi, muganda ni mugande gande, ye. Usime wange we kumoyo, ali switi we kumoyo kwange, ali mayi we babana bange, nitaishi naye nimutunze, nimuvishe petela upendo, pete wangoyo mbemukazi busime kumoyo kwange, mbemukazi wangoyo mbemukazi switi wange, usime wange we kumoyo, ali switi we kumoyo kwange, ali mayi we babana bange, nitaishi naye nimutunze, nimuvishe petela upendo, bemukazi wangoyo, ali bemukazi wangoyo, ewe musani nawe kosi umukhana, ewe mukhana nawe kosi umusoyi, ewe musani nawe kosi umukhana, ewe mukhana nawe kosi umusoyi, ewe musani nawe kosi umukhana, ewe mukhana nawe kosi umusoni. Ai
A nice round of applause for the students choir.
There are people dying. If you care enough for the living, make a better place for you and for me. There are people dying. If you care enough for the living, make a better place for you and for me. You and make a better place. You and make a better place. You and for me. Heal the world we live in. Save it for our children. Heal the world we live in. Save it for our children. Heal the world we live in. Save it for our children. Heal the world we live in. Save it for our children.
A nice round.
Waiting you there, yeah, waiting you there, yeah. That's the holy sound. Waiting you there, yeah. Blessings everywhere. Good news every day. That's the only sound that I hear.
Fala mekam na mezubana na chekiati subari ya mambaru imekam na meja subari ya mambaru imekam na meja subari ya mambaru imekam na meja cheki fala mekam na mezubana na chekiati subari ya mambaru imekam na meja subari ya mambaru imekam na meja subari ya mambaru imekam na kinini kidurudu kam na kinini kibugudu kam na kinini ki
They'll make it up here. Well, that's most of the time right now, and we're part of Africa. And there's no more beautiful place in the world. We see no more beautiful smiles anywhere than we see here from the people. And there's no better place to live because here you know the meaning of life. We see people in trust me, in wealthy countries, if you haven't traveled the way I have, and they don't know the meaning of life. So they may have things, but they don't have life. Life is a better choice. Always choose life. I'm not a big deal, and I've always known that I could do things. I could do things that maybe other people weren't doing. I knew I could. I knew that all my life. I was told by a teacher when I was in 5th grade, he asked about the conditions in French Vietnam. The French were there then. And I quoted what we thought we knew. And he said, well, maybe that isn't true. What if it isn't? He said, someday you'll find all the things that you're reading in these books are not exactly true. And he wrote on the blackboard in very large print, think about it. Since I had permission to think about it and started thinking about it from that point forward, instead of just repeating what I'd heard or been told, I've been somewhat better off. There's one thing I know I do. I accept responsibility well for my job. I don't want to let the team down. All I ever wanted to do is be part of this team that can contribute to life and help the world be one with life. I decided to do hearing because hearing is very special. You see, hearing provides the input to our brain, which facilitates 80% of our cognitive decisions. If you don't have good input to your central computer, you can't get a good output. No one should be diminished unnecessarily. Everyone has the right to stand at their true height and be all they can be for their family and our world. And they should be helped to be all they can be. Because if we allow anyone to be less, it allows us to be less. We must help others stand at that height. And we're doing that now. But more importantly, as I was talking earlier, there's something special about hearing. Besides feeding the brain, it nourishes the spirit. And this is a vital part of our humanity. If we're to know life as humans should, we must have spiritual richness that comes with hearing. So I have been blessed to be a part of this work for a long time. I see, I started, someone said 65 years ago, that's about right. But, it was kind of slow in starting. But by 50 years ago, I was working on things that people haven't done yet. We wanted to make a more efficient way to the brain in the 1970s than the implant, which was invasive. And I had 3 doctors working on it and told them they would win the Nobel Prize and put me out of business. And that would be a good thing. And I paid them to do it. But they didn't accomplish it. I was a little too early in some of my thinking. I discovered that it's not financially, good to be too far ahead of the curve. And we got a little ahead of the curve. We made the first digital hearing aids in 1980. They didn't really become part of the world marketplace until the late 90s. So it's easy to think ahead. It's easy to conceive, somewhat more difficult to achieve. I can tell you today that the achievement is starting to hit mind speed. It's catching up with me really rapidly. It's no longer am I ahead. The guys are so fast in Silicon Valley now, where we have teams, in Israel, where we have teams, in Austin, Texas, and Minnesota, working on the future, that they are doing things that people today are not dreaming about. And I'm including the people who have my supposed competitors, other hearing aid companies. They're not even thinking about what we're working on. It's happening at a much faster speed. The good thing is we will be able to use that science to help people better than we ever could before. And that's been a long dream, to do our job better. And also a long dream has been to serve the people that Owen was talking about that need serving today. I realized many years ago that it wasn't a good idea to dream about helping the people in the future and forget about the people today that need help right now. And together with Kenyatta University, we'll make that happen. We must simply ask ourselves each day, what will we do with these two hands? How can we make a difference today? One day at a time, we'll grow together, and I'll come back and we'll see the tree grow, and I'll be very happy, perhaps, to return from whence I came. Thank you.
Carol Punja, who is the Secretary Higher Education, representing my boss, the Cabinet Secretary, Minister of Education. We want also to recognize Dr. Adfata Sheikh, who is the head of the Hearing Care section, Minister of Health, representing the Principal Secretary, State Department of Health Services. We want to recognize Dr. Bill and Tani Austin, who are Chair and Vice Chair of Starkey Hearing Technologies. I also want to acknowledge my direct boss, if I can say that, and that is Professor Clara Momanyi, who is the chairperson of Kenyatta University Council. I want to salute members of KU Council present. I want to salute members of the university management present. I want also to salute the executive dean and members of the School of Health Sciences and also other schools represented. I want to salute our friends and partners of Starkey Hearing Technologies and Kenyatta University. I want to salute Kenyatta University staff and students. Again, I want to say, karibu sana, distinguished guests, and all the ladies and gentlemen who are here. Good afternoon. First of all, I want to make a disclaimer. Whatever I'm going to say here may not be good enough to express what I feel when I'm standing here. It could just be a quarter. I'm delighted to welcome you to Kenyatta University as we witness a major milestone in our collaboration with Starkey Hearing Technologies. As one of the leading universities, Kenyatta University welcomes this partnership with Starkey to establish the new courses in hearing health and speech-language pathology, as well as the Center for Hearing and Speech Excellence that we have here. True to the institution's vision, mission, and identity statement, Kenyatta University seeks to remain dynamic, inclusive, and competitive center for excellence, not only in teaching and learning, but also in research and service to humanity. Therefore, partnering with the Starkey Hearing Technologies in these projects affirms our core mandate as a university. Through the project, we have not only achieved completion of this center, but also developed 4 new academic programs And these are Bachelor of Science, Hearing Health, that is audiology. As we have been told, this is the first, not only in Africa, but also in the world. This is the first one at the degree level. We also have Bachelor of Science, Speech and Language Pathology, Diploma in Hearing Health, Certificate in Hearing Health. These programs are new. The two programs at the degree level are actually almost ready. They're just waiting to be certified by the authority that does that in Kenya. That is Commission for University Education. The last two, diploma and certificate, we already have students. We are going to start those programs. The students have applied, and I'm told we are ready to start. Our chief guest, I wish to inform you that these courses in hearing aids are being introduced for the first time in Africa. And I've already said the first one is for the first time in the world. I take this opportunity to say that Kenyatta University is also a pioneer in teaching speech and language pathology in Kenya. We started our postgraduate programs in 2015, and we have so far graduated over 25 professionals who are also licensed to practice as speech therapists and in Kenya by our licensing board. The programs, therefore, will provide quality services in hearing care and speech therapy, and with the opening of this center to support those programs, KU's stature as the leading university in the country will be strengthened further through expansion of the local workforce and embedding in our ears hearing care into the wider health system. What makes this partnership especially powerful is the emphasis on sustainable, locally owned solutions. I just want to say, before I continue, we are talking of Kenyatta University, which is currently, and I want to repeat, Kenyatta University currently is actually the top university. This is not what I'm saying. This is how it has been evaluated. This is the second time that Kenyatta University is at the top of the field in higher education. Stuckey's advanced technology and community-based sharing healthcare models, which combine mass fitting with the local follow-ups and training, have been noted for ensuring that recipients not only receive devices, but also the follow-up care and education needed for long-term benefits. Kenyatta University training programs and faculty engagement means that those services will be increasingly delivered by Kenya trained technicians, educators, and all the other type of technicians. This actually is really the bedrock. We are saying we are not just manufacturing, we are not just selling, but we care for our patients, We care for what is going to happen after the service. And I think this is where Starkey is really coming out very strongly. Finally, I wish to thank our esteemed partners and friends, Dr. Bill and Tani Austin, whose generosity and service to mankind I have witnessed during my visit to Starkey Global Headquarters in the US in November last year. In December 2024, Kenyatta University formally recognized Bill Austin, the Starkey's founder. Now, this is for those who have seen Bill just today. We honored him with an honorary degree, that is Doctor of Humane Letters, Horis Causa, degree of Kenyatta University. And why did we do that? Why did we do that? For his long-standing contribution to hearing healthcare and service to undeserved communities, and an indication of the strong ties and mutual recognition between our institutions, that is Starkey's and Kenyatta University. In addition, I wish to recognize Dr. Matthew Karia, our staff in the Department of Special Surgeries, who initiated the project. As we are told, one morning he came to my office with a very thick book, and that was his thesis, and he said, there is something that he wants me to see. I want to say, after I looked at that thick document, I looked at what the work is about. Then he requested, can we do something? I want to say the rest is history, because this is the reason why we are here. We are here not because Starkey's is a manufacturer, not because Starkey's is a business, but what really made me get so involved is to see a business that cares, particularly for the underprivileged. So the reason why I feel we made the right choice is because Bill Austin cares. It is not business, it is what that business can do to enhance, particularly reaching out to those who cannot actually have the kind of special treatment, those who are unable to know the world because they are missing something very vital. So Bill and Tani, we really salute you for being our partner. Thank you very much for listening to me.
And one more.
At Kenyatta University, the Bill and Tani Austin International Hearing Innovation Center has launched the Center of Hearing and Speech Excellence, a cutting-edge facility set to advance hearing and speech care, research and rehabilitation services in Kenya.
Congratulations to you all. Thank you so much. We proceed with the tour.
Kenyatta University Vice Chancellor Professor Paul K. Wainaina said the bill entering Austin International Hearing Innovation Center will position the university as a regional hub for hearing and speech excellence, fostering research, innovation, and specialized training to improve community healthcare outcomes.
Through the project, we have not only achieved completion of this center, but also developed 4 new academic programs. And these are Bachelor of Science, Hearing Health, that is audiology. As we have been told, this is the first, not only in Africa, but also in the world.
As the chief guest, Turkey Hearing Technologies Chairman Dr. William F. Austin highlighted the role of hearing in education and social inclusion, saying access to quality hearing care is a basic right that empowers individuals to participate fully in society.
I decided to do hearing because hearing is very special. You see, hearing provides the input to our brain, which facilitates 80% of our cognitive decisions. If you don't have good input to your central computer, you can't get a good output. No one should be diminished unnecessarily.
Dr. William F. Austin said innovation and partnerships are key to expanding access to hearing healthcare, noting that early detection, advanced technology, and community outreach can transform lives and improve education, inclusion, and economic participation across Kenya and the region.
And I'm including the people who have my supposed competitors, other hearing aid companies. They're not even thinking about what we're working on. It's happening at a much faster speed. The good thing is we will be able to use that science to help people better than we ever could before. And that's been a long dream to do.
Turkey Hearing Technologies Vice President for Sales and Operations for Africa and Latin America, Owen Olende, said the initiative was launched in response to nearly 360 million people, including 32 million children living with disabling hearing loss, to expand access to early diagnosis, treatment, and rehabilitation services.
The Turkey and Kenyatta University partnership has come at a critical time when advances in technology and AI are rapidly growing across Africa and around the world. At the same time, the awareness of the consequences of untreated hearing loss and its impact on individuals and society as a whole is also increasing.
With the launch of Hearing Innovation Center at Kenyatta University, the center is expected to help students and community at large. Edna Nerea, KUTV, Nairobi.
All right, welcome back. And once again, we are seated and it's about to get down on discussions surrounding careers. We've just had discussions on your first job and how well do you maintain financial stability as a young person who is just getting into the work environment. Now, at this point, I want us to introduce our guests who are going to be talking to us about career. And this is in relation to the KU's Career Week that is supposed to be taking place here in campus, the 19th. And allow me to have the guests introduce themselves. Let me begin with the gentleman.
Okay, thank you so much. So my name is Keegan Mochanje. I'm a 4th-year student in KU, pursuing Bachelor of Commerce, Finance option. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Keegan, for making time for us. Vanessa.
Hi, my name is Vanessa. I'm a 3rd-year student pursuing BCom Finance from the School of Business, Economics and Tourism. Thank you.
Thank you so much for making time for us this morning. Now, I want us to begin this from a problem-solving perspective, and I'll begin with you, Keegan. oftentimes when we are coming up with programs, especially in campus or generally something that touches career, it's something that is probably solving a problem. So what is KU's Career Week? What problem is KU's Career Week solving, especially the 19th Career Week?
Okay, so I will just say something. Okay, I will say the statement and then now I will explain it. It is solving the problem of exposure. Okay, so we as students, we are, I remember the first time when I entered KU, the only thing that I knew that I will do is to study. Okay, there's the lecture halls, there's our library, a massive library. So the only thing that you are thinking about is, studying and to get the first class. Okay, but now with that mentality of studying, to some extent, you don't think further, because there's life after studies. And now that is where now this career week focuses on, because the problem is students are focused on, studies and also other things, but not looking at the future ahead, whereby you will be now, let me say, working class. Yeah, so I think it's exposure generally.
I hope the viewer understands other things that you have mentioned. Vanessa, let me come to it. This is an age where everything is on YouTube. Everything is just a click away from Google. You can ask ChatGPT. So how relevant is the physical interaction of career?
So, first of all, I'd like to say that the Career Week is about exposure. We want to expose you to the industry. We are bridging the gap from classroom to industry. And as much as we are bridging the gap, you have to know what is required from you. So we are kind of solving the asymmetry in information, what the industry requires from you, what is expecting from you, and what you yourself you're expecting from the industry or you think is expected from you. So probably a student thinks that I'm just expected to finish my degree, and maybe the HR expects that I'm expecting you to have transferable skills, to have a lot morals, and to be very upskilled. And you can see this asymmetry. So it's more of upskilling. Yeah, we have a lot of sites like Coursera, LinkedIn, and actually even in the Career Week website, there's a post where we get waivers in doing these skills. So yeah.
All right, talk to us more about these skills, the gap.
Yeah, the skill gap between the students and the industry.
What is taught in class, and of course what is expected in the job market?
So what is taught in class is mostly theory, and sometimes it's really hard for you to apply what is theoretical. You have to actually do the practical to understand the application. So for example, I'll do a study on a course I'm doing like BCom. You're required to do your coursework, but to venture into the industry, it's something different. BCom offers you a whole lot of career pathways. You can get into risk management, you can get into tax advisory. So for example, I'm just a BCom graduate. I've never been exposed. I don't know the career paths that are there, and I just get to the industry and I quickly realize this is not what I was taught in school. I was just taught to balance books. I was taught the laws. I was taught business law, but this is not what is happening. People are actually filling the taxes, and I cannot do this. So we expect people to learn from the career, to be exposed. When we are doing these corporate exhibitions, sometimes we even call the corporates who do the training. For example, BNK, they do the tax training, and they actually give you the hands-on experience on how things are actually done, and they give you the things you need to do your career mapping, to know where you want to go, where you are, how you can start and how you can go there through skill building. And skills doesn't just mean that you're doing the advanced Excel, you're doing the SPSS. It can also matter a lot about problem solving, critical thinking. It's how we call for career week ambassadors. We call for those applications. We are training you on problem solving, critical thinking, leadership, how to stand out, and that's actually what matters the most. When you talk to most of the HR, because you usually do have a HR forum, you'll hear them talk about the transferable skills. Are you somebody we can trust? Are you a person with integrity? Are you somebody who can solve problems? Are you somebody who can take up a role, and can we trust you with this role? So actually, when we call for ambassadors, we are not just giving you the role of becoming ambassador, but you're giving you a chance to prove that you're capable and worthy and have those transferable skills.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, hearing from where you sit, let me get your perspective of what the mismatch between what HRs want and what graduates actually come out of campus with in terms of skills.
Okay, thank you. Now, from a student perspective, what you normally expect when you go to, now the industry, first of all, with this generation, you first of all maybe look at, maybe the payroll, the paycheck, okay? You will also look at maybe the skills that you have. You look at the investment your parents did and also yourself, the academics perspective. And to you, you will see that you are fit for a role, and that role should at least pay off. So we will end up looking at now the hard skills. I can balance books, okay? But now there are now these skills which we call soft skills, and these are the skills now which I think they create now the difference between maybe interviewees who are going to a job interview, because you may know how to balance the books, but maybe your integrity is questionable, okay? Maybe you're a person who cannot be trusted. And I think with these modern times, soft skills are the ones which are mainly seen, or rather, those are the ones which are required, okay? Can you be able to work as a team, okay? And with this information, because this information, I didn't get it in a classroom, or rather in a lecture hall, it's because of the exposure that I got courtesy of Career Week, okay? And this is the gap, which is because for the HR, they will just do the interview, but the purpose of the interview, because they already have your CV, they ask your CV up front even before the interview. So they know what you have studied and what you got. But now the purpose of the interview is to see how you conduct yourself. Are you confident? And all that is under soft skills. Mm-hmm. So I think for us students, we look at the hard skills and we say that we are competent enough. But when we go to the first step, entering the industry, which is the interview, mm-hmm. they are actually looking at the soft skills. So I think that is the gap that we want to fill now with the Career Week.
All right. I think that's in line with the first discussion that we had here on the broadcast, where we were talking about moving from campus into your first job and most mistakes that people made as they transition. Now, from where you sit, what do you think? How do you maintain balance between having your studies and also participating in the career trainings, HR trainings, going through the workshops? How do you find the balance between the two?
Okay, so for me, let me speak now at a personal level. The moment you discover where you want to be, or rather, maybe 10, 20 years from now. I didn't have a checklist, but through networking and mentorship, I learned the importance of at least having a checklist, or other things that you need to accomplish before you see yourself 10 years and you say, yeah, that is the person whom I want to be. So balancing, of course, it will be somehow hectic in a way, because academics now at university level is very demanding. But now it doesn't mean that you don't work on, now the soft skills. Because an example, you are to attend a class. That class will help you equip hard skills. But now a scenario whereby maybe the class is starting at 7 a.m. You're required to at least wake up early. Now that one is discipline as a soft skill. Number 2, time management. You need to arrive at 7 a.m. Some soft skills, they just sharpen themselves while you're acquiring the hard skills. Okay? Then now there are soft skills which maybe you acquire maybe during extracurricular activities. Okay? Let's say, for instance, you are a student of finance, but now aside from the classroom, what do you do next? There's a finance club, Finance Society of Kenyatta University. Now in that club, maybe you can assume a leadership role. Now that is where you come up with leadership skills. Okay? Round discussions concerning topics, there's the research skills. Like these things, you cannot acquire them. Let me say, you cannot acquire them. Okay, let me just recap.
Going to interact.
Yeah,
That is.
yeah, exactly. Because now for a class of 2 hours, that is hard skills. But now after the classroom, that is where you acquire soft skills. I think in one way or another, I don't think there's the balancing perspective, because the moment you interact, like in your daily activities, I am sure if you document it and ask yourself, what are the skills which I have equipped today? There will be the hard, and there will also be the soft.
So it's just about balancing your time and knowing what to do and when to do.
Yeah.
All right. Now, Vanessa, from where you sit, what do you think the university is not doing right, or not doing enough to ensure that they bring out an all-rounded graduate who has both the soft skills and the hard skills and is ready for the job market? Considering what, if you've done your internship, you understand what happens when you go to do your internship, and sometimes unafika unajiuliza, hii iko kwa unit gani? So what do you think the university is doing wrong or not enough to ensure that a graduate comes out ready for the job market?
So first, before I answer that, I would love to really applaud the university for having the career week, because just having that is enough exposure to know what's required for you. But what can they do more? First of all, they can focus more on mentorship. Like they can tighten their mentorship, because it all starts with mentorship. Do you have the right mentors? The ones who can tell you what's required from you, the one who can lead you, because being mentored is like living the correct life. The mentor has already lived the life. They know how to go about it. So they're just giving you the upper hand. You can do this, you can choose this, and it might be good for you. Apart from tightening the mentorship screws, they can also give us more and more exposure, bringing the industry to the school. How can they do this? For example, they can bring professionals. Let it be in the unit, let it be in the coursework for the professionals to teach us. Let it be in the units and the coursework for the professional to take us through what is required from us. For example, if you're taking the nursing course, actually the nursing course, they usually have a lot of exposure. Let's say about the one that I'm doing BCom. What if they have a part of the coursework where we get much interaction with the professionals, and we are actually, the industry is brought to us, and we know like this is what is required from us. Yeah, that will be so great.
All right, I love that. Now, Kigan, from this year's theme, what do we expect, and why is it relevant this year right now?
Okay, so maybe to the viewers, to those who do not know the theme for this year's Career Week is Bridging Academia and Industry, Unlocking Sustainable Opportunities from Campus to Career. So why is it relevant? If you look at the trends which are happening currently, with the mismatch of the gap and the purpose of the Career Week being exposure, I think this theme is very much in line with what Career Week has been doing over the years. It has been bridging the gap from academia to industry. Now, maybe I talk about the aspect of unlocking sustainable opportunities, because when let's say industry experts come, because they normally come during Career Week. Now, if they come and they talk about the careers which maybe they are, let me say, hotcake currently, if we haven't done any research about them, we may just take that information firsthand and we say, yeah, that is what I would want to do. But already you are doing a course. Okay. So now the aspect of sustainable opportunities, why is it relevant currently? Is because outside there we have very many opportunities. But are those opportunities sustainable? Because when you're talking about sustainable opportunities, we are talking about those opportunities which you will venture in as a student, but not just getting a job, but a career, or rather a work which will help you grow into your career. So there's an aspect of upskilling. Yeah, so that is why this theme is relevant to us as students, because it's not just about the first job, but it's about growing into your career.
I think that's very timely, considering we're in a generation where right now the conversation is about AI. AI will replace your job, AI this, AI that. I think that's very brilliant. From where you sit, how relevant is this theme, this year's theme?
It's very, very relevant, considering what I talked about the first time. There's a lot of information asymmetry from the industry and from us. Our world today is constantly evolving. New emergence, AI, blockchain, data science. Every day something is just coming up. And what sets you apart? You're just a student, okay? You're just a graduate, but what sets you apart? Are you emerging as the trends are emerging? Are you also getting out of your comfort zone? When we're talking about sustainable opportunities, is where you can grow from it, where it's something that can sustain you. Does your career offer growth? Can you grow in your careers? For example, a teacher, how can you integrate AI with teaching? How different are you from a teacher from the 1980s? So we're not just questioning you about the gap between the industry and academia, but we are also asking you, how far can you go with this opportunity? You will find most of the people, they've done a certain course, but they're not actually working at that pace. For example, if you work in most of the international firms, they actually don't really care what degree you've pursued, as long as you have that degree. That shows a lot, because if you're closed-minded and you feel like, no, because I've done this, I have to do this, then you're not opening doors for sustainability, because either you grow in it or you open more opportunities from it. And that's the shift we want to bring, the shift in mindset, to show you that there is more than what you're doing. There's more than just that degree. There's more to bridge in that gap. There's ESG, there's working with climate, there's a lot of conversation rising on climate and environmental sustainability. How can you integrate it in your work? Like right now in corporate, something like ESG is coming up, and corporate, they're so conscious about their contribution to the climate, you see. So every time we want to push that critical thinking of, as much as I'm getting this opportunity, how can I make it more sustainable? And we are pushing that idea of, you're not just a teacher, but you're a sustainable teacher. Like right now, you cannot be a teacher who doesn't know about AI. You cannot be a teacher who is discouraging students not to use AI, because you're shifting us back to where we are from, you see. So as much as you're in your career development, you want to make it as sustainable as possible. Let this career be relevant even in 2030 or 2035. Let it still be relevant, but not irrelevant.
All right. Yeah. That deserves a... All right. Now, how do you measure the success of Career Week?
So one, we actually measure it through feedback. We require a lot of feedback from everyone, from the ambassadors, from everybody who's going to be impacted by it. The high school day, so we have the high schoolers, they give us feedback on what we can improve and what they feel we've done right. And so far so good. We've got a lot of feedback from right now, because we're dealing with ambassadors, and they have really been impacted by how far we've come. And apart from that, not just getting positive feedback, but constant improvement. Career Week of 2026 is not the same as the Career Week of 2008. We are constantly improving and ensuring that we give maximum benefit to the people who are the beneficiaries of Career Week. So yeah, feedback.
All right, now back to the gentleman. I'd like for you to, even as we conclude, tell us what to expect in 2026 Career Week, and also make an invitation to those who qualify to be attending the Career Week 2025.
Okay, so thank you. Career Week will run from 24th to 30th January. And to start us off with Career Week, we normally have a day specifically for high schoolers. So for the Kenyatta University students, the Career Week will start on 26th. That will be on a Monday, 26th to 30th. Now that is the aspect now of Career Week. So, High School Day. What's the purpose of High School Day? You know, before we entered university, we were high schoolers. But now, I think now the Center of Career Development here in KU, they saw that when the high schoolers enter university as first years, to some extent, they even don't know their career. So now with this event, High School Day, they are being told about courses which are being offered. They also receive information from HELB, or now it is called HEF, even KU CCPS. And these are really impactful, let me say, messages or rather information that the high schoolers need, and that day is specifically for them. So I'm inviting each and every high schooler, or rather the high schools, please grace our event this coming Saturday. Yeah, we welcome you all. You can bring the whole school. We will accommodate you all. Yeah, so that is on the side of high school day. Now, coming on Monday up to Friday, we have on Monday HR forum, Tuesday opening ceremony, Wednesday and Friday public lecture, and then on Thursday innovation day. Now, this week, you are talking about eligibility. As long as you are a KU student, this event is for you. Yeah, I think that's all. And I invite you, all my fellow students, to participate in this year's Career Week. The theme is very straightforward, and I think you would want to know what are the sustainable opportunities and also how to bridge academia and industry. And if you will want to know, of which I know you will want to know, please grace our event. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for making time for us this morning. I hope this year is bigger and better, because I know it will be bigger and better. What we did in 2023 cannot be the same as what we're doing in 2026. So thank you so much for making time for us this morning. I hope to see you once again with feedback how well the Career Week 2026 went. I know that is a testimony that we shall be having. So to our viewers back at home, if you're not in Kenyatta University, you've gained a thing or two on how to better yourself when you are selecting your career path, or how to better yourself before you get into your career path. Of course, that is from being a graduate to the industry. But if you're in Kenyatta University, you can get the whole conversation from the 24th to the 30th of January 2026. That brings us to the end of Biashara Tuesday on this 20th day of January 2026. I hope to see you again next week. Apologies because we were not having a newspaper review, but you have the newspapers. You can get the newspapers and read the newspapers. So thank you so much for making time for us this morning. See you again next week, same time, same place.
Dites-moi d'où il vient, enfin je saurai où je vais. Maman dit que lorsqu'on cherche bien, on finit toujours par trouver. Elle dit qu'il n'est jamais très loin, qu'il part très souvent travailler. Maman dit travailler c'est bien, bien mieux qu'être mal accompagné, pas vrai?